Okay. Do you guys want? Do you guys want something standard, or do you guys want a channel base? Do you guys want something a little bit crazier? I'm just gonna get started, and then we'll turn it into whatever. I'm not gonna say that. Alright, we'll start building, and then whatever it ends up looking like, it'll look like. Okay. So, right now I'm kind of just brainstorming ideas, and then we'll kind of build off of it once I find something I like. I don't want anything to be too complicated, but I want to build something that is a little bit different than what the current meta basis is. Alright, cool. So that could be kind of nice already. Okay. It's kind of a weird shape. I want things to match up. So maybe we do an eagle here. And then that'll line up there. And then I can put a scatter here. Oh, and I just turned off my iPod. Okay, we're back. Why is that Inferno compartment really big? That's kind of just something I've been doing a little bit today, so I'm just going to keep going with it. It's just kind of annoying. Like, it'll make sense a little bit later, but there's going to be like expos and like a hero or something in here. They can't clear the entire compartment easily, so they don't really ever get pathing set. However, that Inferno comp might change. It's just going to be a matter of what the base ends up looking like and how I feel about it. I don't want too much value from this compartment if they blizzard it. So we're gonna shrink this. Okay. Gonna open this. Actually, no, we'll just... How about we do something newer? Okay, and then we'll pinch this up against the edge. We'll get rid of this 5x5 then, too. I'm doing right now. It's something that... I mean, obviously, it's something that isn't new, but it's something that really isn't common right now, is using a set of walls like this up against the edge of the base. It's just going to make it so that the attacker can't really funnel correctly on it. If you can't take out the trash around it, you're really not going to be able to funnel. And then the goal of this is then I have a single here to punish them if they mess up the funnel. Okay. We have one scatter and one inferno. I'm thinking my scatter is just going to be parallel to this one. Maybe. Okay. So we have one more inferno to fit in. Maybe we turn this scatter into an inferno instead. There's really not a reason for having a double scatter there in my mind, so I think I would prefer to put an inferno there if I can. Actually, no, we're going to keep that closed up. This is kind of a weird area. We'll probably clean that up. Okay. What is this? I think I can fit a 5x5 here. I don't quite remember. Yeah, there's plenty of space. Okay, so I wanted to fit a 5x5 there because I don't just want to leave an open hole. I don't want them to be able to sui this with a queen or an RC and then send their other two heroes through the hole and get this too. And this is just going to be big open space. It's just going to be irritating. I am going to rework this area here because I feel like it's really wall consuming for no reason. There, that's better. So this shape here, it's just making it so that a blizzard can't reach into the town hall. A queen can, but a blizzard cannot. And then we're going to try and snag a couple more walls to finish this. Or we can straighten this wall out here. But we still need some more walls. So when I'm thinking of saving walls, I'm looking at areas where, okay, well, I can, I don't need 6 here. Maybe I need 3. Or I'm looking for areas where maybe I don't need walls as long as they are. So for example, maybe I can cut down on this by a couple of walls. And I can redo it like that. I'm just looking for ways to conserve walls and make sure that I can use them exactly how I want. I want some sort of moat here because I want the back end of the town hall to be extra wide. There is a witch hit in the meta right now where it's 8 quakes and a log launcher with... What? Okay. There is a hit in the meta right now with 8 quakes, a log launcher, and a ton of witches. And it depends on the base being skinny. Okay. Deco, can you post my questions? Is the stream loading for you guys? No, you don't have the stream. Wait, do you have it or no? Okay. Okay, so first question. With the Blizzard nerf, what is different with how much you offer or don't offer to a Blizzard? I mean, you can see here, I'm still willing to redo a compartment like this to make sure that wizards can't get in. But at the same time, I'm not going to build the entire base around defending Blizzard when I can just kind of spread my values just enough that it defends it anyway. We'll chat about that more when we're doing traps too, because that's a good time to talk about that. Alright, cool. That's what I wanted to do with those walls. I have 12 walls left. I can kind of play around with them. I'm going to do this. And then I have 7. 7 is enough for a 5x5, but I can also do some other things with 7. How about we steal a couple of these? And we steal like 2 of these. And we take our 12 walls and we run them in front of that. Okay, cool. Let's do it like that. Okay. So obviously I don't want 3 singles. I'm gonna put these 2 on multi. In testing, I can change things. Like if I feel like I need that as single, I can. Typically, you're not gonna have a back end multi or a back end single. Typically, you want a back end multi. The goal here is, as I said before, the back end of the base needs to be wide. I find that important right now. Couldn't they just super wall break into the moat and take the Inferno easily? Inferno at 2. Okay, so this is actually something that I like to mess with. If they drop a super wall breaker anywhere on this side, the super wall breaker will actually run into this corner right here. That wall is intentionally left closed so that the super wall break does not just target the wall. On the other hand, charging into the town hall dead on like this is not necessarily going to be easy. It's going to be difficult to set a path to do anything like that. Maybe you can try and hybrid either this way or this way then. But for the most part, I think a compartment like that is pretty safe. What's the benefit of squiggle walls? The benefit of squiggling walls like that is just to make sure that the scatter compartments and the Eagle, Inferno, and Town Hall compartments line up. Because the scatters are 3x3 and the Town Hall, Eagle, and Infernos are all even numbers. The walls don't always line up properly. So like for example, it wouldn't line up right, and then this wall here is wall breakable. So by doing a wiggle, it makes it so that these line up okay, if I needed them to. Okay, so I'm going to do air defenses and sweepers now. I have my CC placed. I have an idea in my head of where I want my queen and my damage, so I'm going to do my air defenses. Air defenses right now, I feel are important to just throw on 4 corners. It's not necessarily the way that you should always do it, but the way that I'm building recently, I find that if I go for 4 corner air defenses, it's very hard to have loons that will not hit Lalo traps. If all the hounds are way out on the edge, it's very easy to make the loons path into here and die to traps. So by having wide air defenses like that, it works out pretty nicely. Okay, so now I'm just going to go with filling in my splash and my wizard towers and my sweepers. So wizard towers, you don't really want them in range of the air defenses if you can. If you can kind of keep them away from air defenses, you're going to benefit from that. They're really good for killing loons, so if they're not tanked by an air defense, they can do some work. So I want them to cover my Infernos. That's okay. That's safe. This is kind of covering this one down here, and I'm going to put another one right there. Okay. Okay, sweepers. I want one pointed towards the town hall area. I want to make this difficult to charge, so if they do decide to charge it, or they do decide to say, okay, well, I'm going to blimp that, I want to at least make them try and think twice. And the other goal I want is I want them to have to fly a blimp over this dead zone, because in an ESL war, an attacker might not feel safe flying over this without knowing where the traps are. So that sweeper is going to be good. And then I think I'm just going to point another one towards my double scatters. I don't want to allow them to Lalo into both scatters. So what I want to do is I want to point the second one over there so that it fights a Lalo from that direction. Queen I'm going to put with Town Hall. And I'm going to adjust this compartment. I just want to see. Okay, so with 3 walls, yeah, that's worth it. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I am just making it so that the scatter and the town hall are not reachable from the same compartment. So now they're not reachable from each other's compartments. It works out pretty nicely, and it's a pretty cheap way to do that. Another way to recognize when you can do this and set this up, because I always have issues if I see someone else's compartment that I really like, and I'm like, okay, like how can I turn that into my own? I always struggle to notice what it actually looks like. This is just a 5x5 in between the 2 buildings. And all you do is you take away the corners, just one by one, until you end up with this, and then you just fill it in. And it saves you 3 walls. So yeah. Okay. Sorry if this was answered, but you just make Middle Inferno multi, or do you have any specific use in mind on this one for the multi? Okay, so I have 2 multis. This one is for, this big compartment is so that they cannot just sui the compartment and get a ton of value and pathing. Instead, they're not going to be able to sui this entire compartment. I'm going to have probably like an expo or something up at the end of it. The goal of that is so that they don't get a clear path. It's hard for me to explain right now, but I'll explain a little bit later once I start drawing on the base. But I think that if you use a compartment like this, it helps suis not get the same value that they usually do. And like I said, I'll try and explain that later, because as of right now, I don't know what a sui is going to look like on this base because I don't know how to hit it yet. I'm not a huge fan of that sweeper. We'll just go. Here's what we need to do. We need to take this sweeper, and this needs to be here. We'll point our sweepers like that. Okay. Yeah, that'll work out. That'll be nice like that. Okay, cool. And those aren't zappable together like that. Nice. Alright, so I'm gonna look for the question of, if I was an attacker, how would I hit a Lalo on this? Because right now I want to start working for pathing. So an attacker might be likely to Blizzard Town Hall that now that there's no sweeper covering it. And I think I'm going to use my queen to try and make a Sui onto this scatter look nice. And I'm gonna intentionally use like a dummy sweeper here. It's not always the best idea to do this, but if you're doing a one-hit format war, if you use a dummy sweeper, a good Lalo attacker is going to see that the sweeper is bad and try and take advantage of that. And then it's going to open it up for you to be able to trap that attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the pathing for this specifically. I'm going to try and force troops through the Eagle and down towards this Expo. And on this Expo, I'll kill everything. One sec. Alright guys, we're back. Sorry. Okay, let's just backtrack like 2 minutes because I don't know when I disconnected. We're talking about killing the Lalo. We don't want... It's okay, so we're talking about killing the Lalo. We set the sweeper to be a dummy sweeper so that it doesn't actually have a really, really good use. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to force a Lalo into this scatter. So we want them to Sui, or we want them to blimp the Town Hall and single, and then we want them to Sui this scatter, and then have a free Lalo path through this scatter and through the Eagle. And then once they get to the Eagle, they'll die. That's what we're trying to force. Okay. Before I keep going, is there any questions so far that I can just have you guys start asking? If not, we'll just keep going. Okay, I think a Sui will get a little bit more than a scatter, don't you think? Yes, I do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that they can't just send an RC for this scatter here. And if I do that properly, then it won't get a little bit more in a scatter. I think that they'll probably try and Sui this scatter and then RC this one. And I plan to kill this RC so that they have to start their Lalo through it. That's my goal. So I'm not going to put like a hero or anything there. I'm just in testing. I would use skeleton traps. Yes, I'm planning on them suing the sweeper. I'm not concerned about the sweeper. The sweeper is just kind of there. And I'm using RC just to give the Sui more value. If an attacker sees that they don't need to bring headhunters, they're more likely to do the Lalo. Is this stream good, guys? Everything okay? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, as long as it's working now, we're good. Okay, good. Well, not good, but I'm glad it's working. Okay. We need a wall for that. We're just gonna steal that one. Okay, so let's continue to do this Lalo trap. So I'm gonna go pathing. I want to create a straight line. I want them to all their loons to group up in this compartment, and I want them to move into the eagle, and then right about here we're gonna kill them all. So what we're doing is because we're using a storage on the king, these loons are going to split, and they're not going to bleed over to this side. So every single loon that gets dropped into this scatter will go to the eagle, and then will therefore die. So we're going to use plenty of defenses in this one so that the attacker goes heavy on loons. I'm going to use this bomb tower right here. I don't really like that this is so... I need another wall. I don't want this to be just a boxed compartment. I'm not a huge fan of that. That's a little bit better, I guess. It's still pretty bad, but it is what it is. Okay, so that can be a mortar. We'll go with the cannon there. Or either that, or we can move this expo down in here. Go with the storage there. Alright, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so pathing looks good, assuming that the Sui gets this wizard tower. Which it will. Alright, so tornado will go right there. Make sure it's way out of range. Maybe we drop it back further into the core. Yeah, right there looks good. Okay, so we're going to go with our air traps in here then. They don't have to be right on top of the tornado. They just have to be in range of the tornado so that they pull. That's safe, but that's pushing it. That's good. Maybe we bump this up one. And then we bump the sweeper back. And we can fit the rest in right here. Cool. Alright. And then I'll, before I finish this, I'll show an example of how that loon trap can work. There's a Town Hall 12 base that we used in War that actually defended it quite well. And because we already uploaded that Town Hall 12 base, or a similar Town Hall 12 base, we can show that. Do you prefer trapping bases after you fill everything in, or as you go for some certain comps, or does it vary? So my Lalo trap, I will always set up before I trap everything else. I'm specifically using this to kill Lalo. If you get good at this, and you get experienced at learning Lalo pathing and how you can stop it, you can build very compact bases and not really have to worry about Blizzard, because you're able to kill the Lalo. Doesn't matter how much value the Blizzard gets. if you're able to kill the Lalo, it's no big deal. Suthu, no, I do not think that using every radar bomb in the core is excessive, because I will show you exactly why. After this, after we're done building it, I will show replay that it'll make sense. Also, I realize everyone's getting shoutouts this video. That's not really intentional, but it is what it is. Okay. So, I want to make the attacker feel pretty confident about doing that blizzard. I'm not going to go super crazy on dead space here. I'm completely okay that they get the blizzard value that they want. Our goal is to make it look easy. Our goal is to make them say, hey, I can drop a hound on this air defense and fly the blizzard right in onto these gold storages where there's no room for traps. That's our goal. Okay, so I'm just filling just little things for like pathing and stuff. It's not a big deal. Just really easy stuff. Maybe we save one cannon and we use a mortar. There's a mortar there. And then we have one more cannon. We're just going to use it to... no. We're going to... Here, hold on. Let's change this. This is going to go back to a cannon. I'm going to use a mortar here to add volume to the base with a hut. 2 huts. Okay. That's better. So right now, I would technically be okay leaving the air defense here if we would make a fake Tesla farm. But I think it's probably better to just play it safe and not do anything too risky, because we don't know exactly what type of people will be hitting this base. Other than that, I mean, now this is just trashing. There's not a ton to this other than traps, so give me a minute and then we'll get to those. But for the time being, I'm just going around making sure things aren't bounceable, making sure everything's kind of covered up and things aren't too easy to funnel. Where's my workshop? We're gonna go... So this is pretty important. If you have an air defense on the edge, if you want to try the air defense on the edge thing, make sure your air defenses aren't bounceable. That's a big thing that I see people doing, and I personally like to take advantage of. Okay. I need my workshop. And I need a hut. Okay. Just gonna keep going. I mean, it's not... This doesn't get super complicated. This isn't rocket science or anything. Just, if you know building HP, that'll help you. Otherwise, just kind of be careful. This is not bounceable, so that's not something I'm too worried about. It is bounceable from a gold mine, but it's too far to bounce. I need... Oh, I used my huts. Okay, hold on. That's going to be a building. I need huts. So you can do this where you don't really have too much room for trash and you can put huts, but make sure you actually have the huts for it. I do that sometimes and I forget about it, and then you have a problem. Okay, so I think we're going to be okay on trash here. We might run out a little bit, and then we'll just have to go back through and make sure that, you know, maybe we steal a wall or two and fill in a couple of buildings with walls instead. But it's going to be pretty close. I think we'll be okay. We're just going to have to make a couple swaps and substitutions and stuff. What I'm doing there is I'm looking back through for higher hit point buildings. I want them on the inside so that bowler bounces can't set a funnel very easily. We'll use our last camp there. Actually, we'll use our last camp here. We'll do it like this. You know what? No, that was okay like that. Okay, we have 2 more buildings. We're just going to try and fit them in where we can. So right there's a place that we can fit one in. And then I want to keep this very basic because I think I want to put a Tesla farm right here. And the stream's lagging behind a bit. One sec, guys. Are we good? Is everyone good? Okay. Okay, we're just going to fit the last one in there then, and then that looks good. We kind of filled out the map, which is something that is pretty good to do. It doesn't really have any huge benefit to it other than them not being able to place things closer to the base. It makes pathing a little bit more unpredictable, but it's not a huge deal. It's not 100% you have to do this, but I feel if you get good at Th13 building that, it's almost every base fills out the map. Okay, so we're going to go, I think we go Tesla farm in here then. We go 2 here. We go 3 in here. It's not that complicated. I think that Tesla farm placement is pretty good. Notice we have core expos. Keeps the base compact. It keeps a lot of the damage in the core. It just makes it a little bit more difficult to charge, a little bit more difficult to smash. It's just going to have extra damage on the core. That's all. As for our hound path, so we know that we want them to sui this scatter, and then we want them to wallow into this, assuming the RC does not get it. Biggest thing to making the RC not get it is going to be distracting the RC. We need damage on her, and we need to make sure that we have traps on her. 1 skeleton trap might not do it. We're going to go 2 to be safe. In testing, if you guys decide that you want to test the base yourselves, or if you're just going to use it in war, which I know most of the people do, there's 2 skeleton traps there just to be safe. I would use the other one over here if I could, because I'm thinking a hybrid probably ends up going into this, but we'll see. But I'm thinking for the time being, we'll just go one skelly trap there, and then we'll go 2 here just to be safe. And then we're going to go 2 SAMs on this air defense to kill a hound right away. And then we're going to go 2 on this air defense to kill a hound right away. Okay, giant bombs. Giant bombs are pretty simple. At Th13, you don't have to worry about witches too much, as long as the base shape isn't like begging for them. You typically just want to use giant bombs for stopping suis and for stopping hybrid. So whatever your hybrid path that you're expecting is, you want a lot of giant bombs on the back end, and then hope that they don't have heals for that. No, you cannot. Okay, so we're just going to kind of sprinkle them around. We'll go 1 here. And then I need some, just in case they do the other hybrid, I need some in this area here. So we'll go 1 here, and then we'll go... I already have a bomb tower, but I think maybe It's just going to be minors left up at the end. Maybe we double down on this and we go... We bump this out. We double down right there. Bump that back in. There, just like that. We'll do it like that. Okay. Questions. Can you zap those 3 expos at once? No. What type of shape invites witches? Okay. I will show you a shape that invites witches. Give me a sec to finish trapping this, and then we'll show the replay of the Lalo bait working, and then we will talk about what shapes kind of work well for witches and why I think that this type of shape is good for stopping them. So, because it's untested, I don't really know what they're going to do. I know that they're going to be able to make this blimp no matter what. I'm not really going to try and stop it. I know it's going to happen. I'm more focused on stopping a charge. So, I think it's possible to charge that. I also think it's possible to charge this because I'm just leaving this wall open. So I think I'm going to focus my SAMs. I'm going to stick one back in here for a smash, snipe a healer, and another one right there for a charge. We have springs. Springs are going to be for mainly hybrid. So we'll go... Not a ton in this compartment, actually. There's not a bunch of good places for springs here. Go one there. We'll go 2 here. 1 there. 1 there. Then we'll just set them up, just in case they hybrid the other way. Alright, cool. And we just have small bombs left, and small bombs are pretty simple. You just throw them on the back side of the town hall so that they can't blimp across. That's the base then. Okay, so first thing I want to do, we'll come back to this base. First thing I want to do is I want to discuss this Lalo trap that we talked about. I'm going to show a base from the war that we had because I think this is important. This might not have been the right hit. Hold on. I want to make sure we have the right hit here. Oh god. It was the last hit on the base, right? Yeah, it was this one. Okay. So they did a Zap Lalo, which, I mean, this is Town Hall 12. It's a bit different, but the point of this is to show that this Lalo was baited and it was expected. So we're just going to 4 times it until the Lalo comes in. Okay. So notice I used pathing to clump the loons so that we have a smaller group moving in here and a very large group with the slammer moving in right here. And he had to pop his tome early because of the eagle shots. So the loons are going to come out and they're going to get stuck in the tornado, and all of the air bombs are going to pull up. Because he doesn't have tome, all the loons are just going to die, just like that. And then after that, the attack's over. They don't have a strong enough Lalo to take out the rest of the base, and the hit's done. So that's what we're trying to replicate in this base. Oh shoot, which one was it? This one. So that's what we're trying to replicate in this base. We're trying to have that same sort of effect. We want all the loons to die at the same time. Okay, so now let's kind of chat about this. So first off, I want to talk about the actual loons themselves, the path that we're expecting. So we're expecting a Sui to take out this area here, and we're expecting a Blizzard to take out pretty much this entire area. I'm expecting that the Sui takes out the Sweeper, and I'm probably expecting that the Sui ends up taking out this Expo as well. So that's pretty much all going to be cleared. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the Lalo path. So we know that loons are going to go here, here, and here. They're going to come in here, 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 and then they're going to split that way. But we know that every single loon that goes from this compartment will end up on this wizard tower here. Okay. So now they're not going to drop all their loons. They're going to have some support loons that come in this way, but their main group is going to be right there. So this is going to move through. It's going to go to the Eagle. It's going to go to the Expo. And then this main group, which we've kind of managed to keep together the whole time, they're going to need a tome early because the Eagle is not right away. So they'll need to tome probably entering the Eagle compartment because we're killing the Hound. So the goal of killing the Hound is to make sure that the Eagle targets the loons so that they have to tome early. So we kill the Hound, it goes onto the loons, we're going to be in a good spot. So loons are going to go here, they're going to get pulled by a tornado, and they're going to die. So this is where the majority of the loons die. And there's a whole lot of base left. This entire section of the base is going to be left up, including 2 multis, and they're not going to be able to finish off that base. Does that make sense? So that's what we're trying to do. We talked about witches and why the back end is so wide with 2 splash things on the corners. The goal of this is we don't want witches to come down the sides. So typically what we're seeing with this hit is we're seeing either quakes with a log launcher moving this way, or we're seeing quakes with a log launcher moving this way. You're never going to see it coming sideways. It's never going to come flying through like this. It's always going to be either opposite of the town hall or directly through the town hall. So what we did here is we set up the base so that the sides have a lot of damage. So notice this flank, for example, it has the Tesla farm, but it also has cannons, and it has this archer tower, and it's going to have the 2 multis. And then on this flank, the flank has to deal with 2 scatters. But notice how the main push, the section of the base that the log launcher is going to open up, is not going to be these 4 key splash buildings that are circled. So what we did is we spread the splash out to the side so that you cannot get the witches to work effectively on this. A base that the witch attack would work on would be something a little bit more narrow, something that you can quake open all of the splash values. But because we spread it out and we made this back end really wide, this is wide for a reason back here, so that if they go through the town hall, hold on, let's clear this up. Okay, so I'm just going to circle the key values in red. Okay. Yeah, I know. So the goal of this is they're not going to be able to quake open this splash and this splash. That's really important. That means that this flank that comes down the edge will die right there, and this flank that comes down the edge will die right here. That's all we're trying to do. We can talk hybrid. In my personal opinion, I'm not really a huge hybrid attacker, but what I personally see is that when you're looking to hybrid the space, you need some sort of straight path. This dead space right here, created by the dead zone and the space behind the eagle and the space behind the inferno, that's like 10 tiles of just dead space. So hybrid is going to have a hard time sticking together in this section of the base. So I know that a hybrid from this way will do pretty well, or the base will do pretty well against it, because I know it's going to split up pretty badly right there. And then I know that a hybrid coming this way will struggle because I have 2 back end scatters. And if they are going to hybrid this way, they're going to have to charge like that, or they're going to have to blimp my town hall. So yeah, usually a town hall comp like this, it's kind of difficult to hybrid if you're not going to use a blimp. If you Yeti blimp the town hall, then you can make it effective. However, we have the core expos so that there is enough damage right here that you will lose your queen in the core of the base, which means that you are going to have to hybrid through this entire area, no matter which way you come from. Is there other armies you guys want to discuss? Matt, no, we're not talking about that. We can talk about Zap Drag, but it's pretty much the same as Witches. The key values are spread. When we talk about dragons, we're looking at air defenses, and we're looking at our infernos, and then we're looking at the town hall. So we're just going to do it like this. So those are pretty split up. I'm satisfied with how that looks. I don't think that dragons will be able to take this base out unless they do some sort of drag bat, because there's not a ton of splash by my town hall. Okay, talk about Super Witch. So Super Witch, I think Super Witch is slowly dying out at Town Hall 13. I think that there's a little bit more smash attacks right now. One includes P.E.K.K.A.s and Yetis and Witches down a flank. But if you were to Super Witch this base, I personally think the base looks decent against Super Witches. You would zap this Inferno out. You would do a Warden Walk right here to clear this area. And then you would send Super Witches into the Town Hall with 1 jump. And then probably a 2nd jump here. Or maybe it would be like this. It would probably be like this to get them out of the base, but also to get them to the Inferno. So this is the main reason why I did such a big compartment here. I said we would talk about this, so we will. I do not want zaps to be able to zap this Inferno. That's not dark enough. You're just not going to be able to see that. Okay, I don't want them to be able to zap this Inferno and then clear the entire compartment. I want buildings left over. I want these buildings right here to make it so that they did not clear this compartment. Also, with the expo change, this expo won't go down. So that's another positive. And with Super Witches, you typically would want the zap to clear this side for you. But because we have Teslas there, that side's not going to be cleared. Super witches will either die out because the backend values are so spread. Backend values being this Inferno and this Scatter. Also, this compartment, I'm only noticing this now, but this has a ton of DPS in it. So that might not be too easy to take advantage of. But anyway, I think that probably if the Super Witches don't die out to these spread values at the back end, they're definitely going to time fail because they're not going to be able to clean this side of the base up effectively. Any other general questions? Anything that you want covered? Any statements that I'm actually allowed to say on stream? Do I record the testing? No. What about eDrag spam? I never worry about eDrag spam. Okay, so I understand that eDrag spam can be very strong, but for me personally, I build for a lot of tournaments, I build for a lot of high-level leagues, and typically these people don't rely on spam. They prefer an attack that they can control. So I typically build my bases to stop those. Okay. I think if that's all the questions we have, then that's about it. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to assume no more questions then. I'll wait for Sulu to type whatever he's typing, and if that's not a question, then we'll go. Alright, well then I'm going to end the stream, we'll end the recording, and hopefully we'll probably do this maybe in another 2 to 3 weeks. We'll do another one of these. Biggest thing for the people here in the Discord server, typically I'll ask what town hall level they want to see, but for the people that aren't joining the base building Discord server, first off, you should, and I'll put a link in the description of the video. But if you don't know how to ask for the town hall level, put it in the comments of what town hall level you want to see me do, and I'll make it happen. Alright, cool. We'll do, yeah, okay, so we'll do another one of these 2 to 3 weeks, and we will we'll hopefully have a different style of base by then. We can talk about how the meta is then. Before I go, Danny and Deco both want a shout out, so shout out to them. All right, guys. We're recording this on a Saturday. We'll probably upload this on a Monday. But yeah.